Hello lovely people, remember me? And so I'm back from outer space again. It's been a while, after I promised you it wouldn't be. I haven't done anything since October, whenever, Halloween, just before. Anywho, I'm back. Thought we'd do a bit more. Unfortunately, as life settled down a bit and things got a bit better, my health took a bit of a turn, so been quite ill, heavily medicated and not very well for a while, but on the mend again, so thought we'd do something. And as I've missed out on the bulk of Christmas and getting ready for Christmas and making videos for Christmas, I thought we would do some. I'm going to have a go because I've got some ideas. I also have some things to show you. Today we're going to make some, hopefully, faux photo slides, but my plan is there's going to be a few videos over the next few days doing bits and pieces, because what I do have from last year is a whole pile of blank journals, so I'm going to quickly show you them. I'll show the covers of them, and they're literally just full of book page and coffee dyed paper and nothing particularly interesting, and certainly not Christmassy particularly, but the idea is everything I make over the next few videos will decorate them and get them ready to be flipped through at the end of it. I'm also going to do a couple of flip throughs of finished Christmas journals that are from last year, because I wasn't around last year, but I still made some using Dave's digitals, so they'll be design team projects using some of his old Christmas digitals, not this year's, and that's it. That's what we're going to be doing. So I'll show you this. It's a long one, and it's actually a gift bag. It was a gift bag that you put a bottle in. So I made a nice cover. It's full of just bits and pieces of nothing overly much. So we're going to decorate it. So there's that one. Oh, there's this one again, gift bag. It was a Christmas gift bag. Got this on the inside, some pockets and bag, and a tag in there. Bit of scrapbook paper, but again, just pretty blank. So we're going to look and see if we can't decorate that. And there's this one. There's two of these actually. That I made last year, and these are just, no, it says that way. Just again, blank journals, nothing much in them. You know, so we're going to see if we can't make some stuff to go in those. There's that one, and there's that one. Oh, and then there's this. Oh, which is upside down. And there's this. And again, fabric covered, Kathy Holden fabric, beautiful, from last year. And this one's a bit padded because it's got wadding underneath it. But again, they're just fairly innocuous, plain. So we're going to make some Christmas stuff to go in them. This is the plan. I hope you like the idea of. So without further ado, I'll show you what we're going to do. So the premise is, if I can find one, I had these, you can see that, they might come down a little bit. And these are from a kit by Tracy Fox, and they're like photo slides. And I thought, there must be a way of making them Christmassy. This one's got a bit of scrapbook paper behind a bit of tracing paper, but there must be a way of making them even more Christmassy. And so I'll show you my prototypes, examples, and we'll have a go at making some, see what you think. So I made bigger because I like bigger. So we made this one, and we made this one, and this one, and I thought this was, you know, it's maybe stretching it a bit, but I think they're Christmassy and still in the vein of a photo slide. Oh, the back's coming off that one. We'll re-stick that. I might need a bit of glue. And then this one, which I just stamped on some coffee dyed paper. Ooh, this one, and this one, this one and this one. What do you think? Let me know. So we're going to have a go. I'll show you what I did. So I've got some pattern paper, I've got some scrapbook paper, I've got some paper that was decoupaged with napkin, I've got some plain sparkly paper, some plain coloured paper, and I've got a whole load of Dash of Dave digitals. So give me a sec while I grab those, because I have to lean back. And the wire of my microphone's just going to go ballistic and come out. Oh, I'll show you these. And I'll show you these. So I have followed the stamping from last year. It's just on copied book pages. Now I don't have a lot of Christmas stamps. Like literally not a lot. I've got about 4 or 5. But last year I stamped a load of bits and pieces. So there's that. We're going to use. I've got no, that one's very smooch. It's probably not that one. But I've got some stamps and tracing paper. So we may use those. And for some reason the green one worked really well, but the red one went really smooshy. And then, oops, not that. That's a different project. Got a Horton, and that's a different project because that's scrapbook paper. That's for something else. Got a whole load of bits of Dash of Dave. Got this old Victorian Christmas baubles, bits and pieces. These are from his medieval kit. It's made at my behest because I love so much. That's a trial piece of something I'd printed from him. This is from, I think, impasto. This is from his kind of Florentine type papers. That's from his wallpaper. That is a piece of Florentine paper. These are from his, I think it's called Holiday. There's lots of bits and pieces. So there's lots of scraps. Another bit of his Victorian vintage. Florentini type, Victorian type. Misprints, there's all sorts in there, but all stuff that we can use. So that's my plan. So, shall we crack on? And we'll catch up when I'm doing it. I also have in this box everything I'm kind of using, but I'll take these out first and I'll show you what I did, because I've made them in different sizes. And I did these all by hand because I don't like to measure much as I can use a ruler, and I know what centimetres and inches are. I choose not to. So what I did was I started off with the middle size in all of them anyway, and then just by laying them on top and going round, as you can see, I kind of worked out what I thought was a good size. I made a bigger one, which would make a border. And I also made a smaller one, so you could use pattern paper out of the middle size, mount it on something so that the pattern paper is showing, or you can use the pattern paper as the background and mount a plainer one on top and do it that way. Does that make sense? Yeah? So this one, 6 inches wide by 6.5 inches wide. That's the biggest one. And then, I want to say oh no, that's 6 inches. The bigger one is almost 6.5. So it's about a 1/4 inch increment in between each one. Yeah. So a 6 inch one. Did the same again. We've got a 5.5 inch one. I'll put these back on so I don't lose them. I've got a 5-inch one, and I think the 5.5 inch one was by accident because I had a couple of scraps that, not by accident, but it wasn't made in some intention, and we've got a 4-inch one. So 6, 5 and 4 were the main ones I made, and the 5.5 came because I had some scraps of paper that I liked that I wanted to use, but that was the only size they came in. So show you that again, hopefully it makes sense. Started off this one, I just cut it by hand, simple as that. I picked a size and cut it by hand, and then I made a smaller version, 1/4 inch increment around, and I made a bigger version with a 1/4 inch either side. So I hope that makes sense. And so you can, one of the reasons why I don't measure is it kind of by accident that I ended up with a 6, 5 and 4 because I didn't plan it. That's just the way it turned out. Yeah, so I have those, and I think I've made bigger ones. All my examples were bigger ones, so I think we're going to go for the 2 littler sizes and play with those and see what we can come up with. What does one think? And we'll catch up at the same time. I'm going to take this first. I'm going to take, oops, excuse me, reaching, pencil. And we have a bit of a play. I'm going to cut out. Let's see what we've got. I'm going to start with, well, we'll start with the ones that I've got bigger bits for. Do this. And because this got faces on it, I'm going to try and, actually, same picture. Will that fit? No, a head will be floating. So I'm going to try and get that so that I've got those. And then I literally just drew round. And drew round. And cut them out. And I cut them all with scissors by hand because, well, I suppose essentially because I'm rubbish at cutting by hand, and I knew it wouldn't give me a straight line. Weird. But my logic was it would look handmade. So I'll do this. I'm going to do this. And we'll create some scraps for another play. I'm going to take my knife. I'm going to put some glasses on because I can't see a thing. There we go, that's better. And then, hopefully you can't see the top of my head. It will just be a mass of whiteness. Just going to cut those from the corners to the middle. Boop, boop. My legs here. And then we'll, again, use the scissors rather than a knife. If you want them perfectly straight, then use a knife or a cutter or whatever it is you have and make it look perfect. But for me, I kind of like the rough and readiness of my not quite square cutting. And we do that. And that gives us our first one. And then let's see, I saw one near the bottom of that pile, that one. Let's do this one, because this is more abstract, not more abstract, but yeah, more, you know what I mean. It's not got faces on it. So move that out of the way. And this one makes it easier for me to go. I'll put it up near the end and draw around it that way. And for me, I mean, you can quite happily, if you know your sizes, cut squares out. You could use a whatchamacallit? What am I talking about? What am I thinking of? Or die. You could get a die for the middle of it, if that makes it easier for you. Will that fit one of those? No. So, no. So then if we find a, where's the little size go? The other one. Oh, there. So I'm going to take the middle size of this one, which I think is that one. I made them all out of cardboard, the middle ones, and then everything else was bits and pieces of stuff that I could get hold of. But this will fit here, won't it? Yeah, there we go. So, and this just, if you kind of mass making, I am going to cut them out because they're not perfectly straight, so Ooh. It just means we can do that, do that. Do that. And one will fit on there. One will not. Oh well. Oh, actually, maybe. Will one fit on there with the list? Just actually. Okay. So I'm going to see if I can get one out of that, and then I'm not wasting it. We do that. And of course, because I'm not measuring, it doesn't matter if it's not exact. I kind of like the. There we go. I like the handmadeness of it. Right, let's put those back together, and then let's see what we come up with. Yeah. This is how we try and see our lines whilst still being on camera, if we can. There we go. That's that one. Oh, and that one. I make slightly better straight lines if I use bigger scissors. Still not very good at it, but it's what cutting boards and all guillotines and all those sorts of things for. You don't have to worry. But like I said, I kind of like the fact that they're not quite square and off kilter, and it works for me. So let's get these cut out. And yeah, it has been a while, so I did some stuff over Halloween, and of course it's sod's law, isn't it? Or you say Murphy's law in America, both apply. Sod's law, things were getting better, life was picking up, I was happy, things felt better, and then I got sick, and I developed, well, over time I developed a whole load of cysts, which then turned into one big hideous festering abscess, which wasn't pleasant. I've been on a medication, slept a lot because I've been so ill, threats of hospital on several occasions, countless doctor's visits, tablets coming out of my ears, pus coming out of every orifice. Apologies, you probably need to know that. But yeah, it's not been a particularly pleasant time. But I knew the problem was nobody could tell me what it was. We couldn't find out what was going on. Nobody could work out why it was happening. So we well, initially thought I was just diabetic because my lovely friend Dave, Akadasha Dave, had a similar experience where he'd developed cysts on his neck, and then when they tested him he was quite seriously diabetic, and that was the initial thought, but that's not the case. I'm pre-diabetic, so I still have to kind of check my diet, watch what I'm eating, and hope that it doesn't get any worse and that I become diabetic. But no, it wasn't that. And so whilst I am healing, thankfully, finally, because I got them and then they healed with antibiotics, and then I got them again and they healed with antibiotics, and then I got them again. Only the third time I got them was the time that the abscess formed, and it was unpleasant. You do not want to know how unpleasant. But yeah, it's very much on the mend. Well, as a measure of how bad it was, as I said to you before, when life was bad, for all the time that I didn't film, I still crafted, and I haven't for 2 months because I was too ill. I just couldn't bring myself to sleeping 20 hours a day. In pain all the time. It did get quite bad. But you know, c'est la vie. We're coming to the end of it now. So I have a very good doctor who's looked after me very well, and has tried at every turn to find out what's going on, and hopefully we're getting there. I've got one last batch of tests to go through in about a week's time, but then I'm all good to go. Hopefully. Abscess is almost disappeared. I just now have a rather ugly scar on my chest, but you know, it is what it is. I'm healthy again. I'm feeling healthy again, feeling better again. So yeah, that's where I've been. That's why you haven't seen me. That's why I haven't made videos after promising I would. And that's why I'm very late to the whole Christmas pie when it comes to doing these things. But I'm here now, so we will crack on. So, like I said, rather than, I was going to take his new kits and I was going to make journals and do it all step by step like I've done before with journal making and videos, but there won't be time for that because we're very close to Christmas now. But because I already have these blank journals that are left over from just playing with stuff last year, it would be nice to make bits and pieces to go in there. And at some point over the next couple of videos I'll show you the stuff I've got that's already made, because I do have a small box of ephemera that I made last year that's all sat there ready to go, mainly with Tim Holt's people. Strangely, I've never been a big Mr. Holt's fan in the grand scheme of things, but I had a bag of his people when he first brought them out, the original lot. His Pep dolls, I couldn't think what they were called, Pep dolls. And I probably had them, well, whenever he brought them out, so however many years ago he brought them out, 3 or 4, whatever it is. Just had them and never used them. And last year I literally opened the packet for the first time and used most of them on Christmas tags. So at some point I'll show you those. So there we go, we've got those in a couple of different sizes. Move my little triangles out of the way. And then we need some coloured paper, and we can do, I've got some red, oh, excuse me reading, you probably saw my elbow there, and I've got some shiny. So, let's see what we do. See, like those, I reckon you could use either colour, because either colour works. That one more red, but that one could be a green one. Oh, let's have a look. Let's do it this way so you can see what I'm doing. That's got red in it, that's got red in it, green in it. I reckon that's got more green in it, so we could do 3 on each, couldn't we? Do that, make them shiny. Had that. So take this, and we've got this size one, so I'm going to take the bigger one of those. Oh, glasses again, it helps. I'm getting old, you know, can't see much. And we're going to go around that. I'm going to go around the middle. Can I see that? Oh, I can. I don't know if you can. Can you? Oh, but I can. So bear with me. So that's that one, and then I need the smaller size one, which was this, and we're going to do boom, boom, boom. That's the size I used. So let's do, tell you what we'll do one bigger. And then I'll show you what we'll do with the other one in a minute. Just for something a bit different. Did I put, oh, do you know what I didn't do? No, didn't put the square in the middle, did I? Nobody shouted, nobody told me, I didn't hear you. You weren't shouting loud enough, clearly. There we go, oh, there we go. And then, excuse us. So anywho, I hope you're all well and all set for Christmas. I am. I did all my Christmas shopping on Friday. So I'm very happy about that. I'd already done quite a bit, so despite whatever goes on in life, I'm usually quite organised around Christmas because I tend to, I know the things I want to get for people, and so I tend to do it during the year. I hope that's not blinding people too much. I just realised that's really shiny, so I'll try not to. And hey, it's shiny paper, so you might just have to get used to a little bit of a glare, just for a minute. It'll sort itself out. That's that one. Move that. Oh, and one with that. Let my little knife go. Nope. We'll do. Go from each corner, cut into the middle. I just think it's easier for cutting squares. Same with this one. Go from each corner of your square and cut into the middle, so they all join up. Like that. And then you've got little squares that we can. And then I just think, you know, I think it's easier than poking a hole because you can get in and get down the whole side. And once you've taken the first triangle off, it tends to be easier, I think. So, let's do that, let's do that. Let's do that. And like I said, I've got loads of bits cut out and patterned paper, scrapbook paper, what else did I use? Patterned paper, scrapbook paper, some fancy Christmas paper that came out of a Paper Chase Christmas book, because once upon a long time ago, when it still existed, I used to work for them. That's going back a few years now, because they no longer exist in the same way that they used to. That's those two. Ooh, let's move those. So, got that. And that one will sit on there. So I'm making like little, just like little frames, but I think they look like those little photo slides. And I like the idea of them. And we've got that one. And I quite like the fact that, although that one's very wonky, I do quite like the fact that they're not perfectly straight. If you want to do them perfectly straight, you are more than welcome to do them perfectly straight, but I like the handmadeliness of them. Okay, so that one. And then this one, let's put those there so you can see those. And then this one, we'll see, let me grab, bear with. Might be a bang now as things fall on the floor, but I have, there we go. Ooh. In true Blue Peter style, I don't know if you can see. Can you see? Oh yeah, I can. I have to stand up and look. I've actually drawn some out on coffee dyed paper. So we'll have a look anyway. This might be an option. But the other, I'll show you the other thing we can do as well. Cut these out. go. And then once again, corner to middle, corner to middle, corner to middle, corner to middle, and then just cut it out so that we have the frame. And this is why I made 3 sizes, because it gives you options then. So on my pattern paper is cut out of, no, yeah, on my pattern paper is cut out of the middle size. Then you've got that, and you can do that. So you do it that way around. The other thing you could do is, I've got this is actually the stamping off sheet where I was trying not to get it on my board or anything. So what you could do is find the right size. That one, it is. So that's one option. And then if you've got Christmas stamps that you like, you can stamp on it. Or you take my stamp off sheet and I might do that. So I'll get the edge of the pear and part of the star and do that. No, in fact we're going to do it that way because that's the way the slide sits. So if you do that, draw around that. Of course it's moving, and if you're like me and haven't got a steady hand, you can always stick it down with a bit of washi so that it stays where you want it to, and then afterwards you can just rub it out if you need to. Yeah, we'll put that back out of the way. And go that way. Get rid of that. We'll go that way. And that way. And that. Have I done that right? Yeah, yeah. Just cutting, thinking I was cutting the wrong pencil line. So, and then once again, we take a knife and do corner to middle, corner to middle, corner to middle, corner to middle. And then we cut it out. And I know I'm kind of doing these one at a time at the moment, but they're a great one for mass making. I'll show you the box of everything. No, you might have seen the box, but I can't remember if I showed it on screen at the start or if it was just out of shot, but I'll show you in a second. So then you do that. If you're not stamping, or if you've got a bit of something else you want to use, and that can sit over the top like that. So it just gives you a different option. That's why I made my templates in 3 sizes, because I thought, we like options. Options are always good. So next job is I'm going to stick those down. A bit of glue book. Let me grab a glue stick. And let's stick those 3 down. And we'll do these 3 and then we'll see what time's like. Because I'm all at practice working to a time limit, so we'll see how we go. So do that. Sit that down. That one. And do this one. And stick that down. And you can colour coordinate as much as you like, or as little as you like, I suppose. That's that one. And then stick this one down. Like that. Put that lid back on that a minute. With that there. So that gives us 3 in 2 different options. What do you think? And then, again, you've got options. You can, if I can find it, open it up. I'll show you what I did with these to make their sliders. Acetate from overhead projector that came from a charity shop find. And I am just going to, now you probably can't see this because I can't see it, but if you bear with me, I'm just going to cut a piece off. That's approximately, not even approximately, that's bigger than the piece. Ooh, did that work? Not very well. Nor did it cut very straight. But hey, there we go. Thicker than I was expecting. Let's put that out of the way a minute. Okay. So, and I stick these on the back with washi tape. And so I don't overly worry about it being too straight, because I just washi tape it from end to end. That's that one. And then if we just cut that piece in half. And if I wasn't doing a video, I'd probably be more careful about my sizing. But there we go. I'm going to take a bit off the edge of it. No. Like that. That's that. Put those out of the way. And then the other thing I did was, whoop, and again you've got options. You can either just put that on blank, but I have these, excuse my arm reaching over. I have these which are stickers, excuse me, clear plastic stickers with a bit of glitter on. And so, literally, this has got a rough side and a smooth side, so put it on the smooth side. Put that down there. I peel off the sticker. Oh, there we go. Right. So we're going to do this up in the air. And then just stick it on. And then we've got that one. What else have I got? I also have gold and silver ones as well, so maybe I'd say gold's probably better than silver. I have this, and these are, God knows how long these have been lying around, but hey, where's that? That's why I keep losing my acetate. So, because it's a bit bigger, we'll maybe go for one that's a bit bigger. And I've broken a few of these because I'm not very gentle with them, but you know, they've been lying around a long time. And if I can get them up, there we go. Get rid of that. And again, put this one on this side. Do that. And that can go there. So you can still see through it. The other option is, I've got tracing paper, don't I? But, so I have these lovely things. So I could use one of these instead and have something like that. In fact, I'm going to have something like that. I like that. I'm just going to cut a bit of that off. And these are just literally wooden stamps. I have about 3 I was never bothered about Christmas and having Christmassy stuff, so when it came to crafting, I'm much more of a wintry person, so we're going to take a bit off that side. And then you've got that, so you can still see through it, but it gives you that. Now, this is a fun bit, because one thing I did forget to find was washi tape, so let's see what I can find. I can't see any. Bear with. Oh, hang on, there we go. So, I can get my glue out again, and my glue book, and I literally, oh, that way a minute. I literally kind of got it where I wanted it. Flipped it over. Took some washi tape. Glued it, because it's not very good washi tape. Again, I'm going to have to rip that down the middle because it's too wide, but that's fine. Some paper, yes, it's not the best washi tape in the world, but a piece at the top, because it's got glue on it, makes it better, and a piece at the bottom. Stitch it down, stick your fingers, and then just cut off the excess. Voila. And there we have one photo slide with a bit of decorated window. We'll do this one. So what do we think, lovely people? Tell me. I'm going to put that there. Fingers are a bit sticky now, so that's going to cause problems. Of course it is. And you know, again, more time. I might have made this a bit neater, but for the sake of showing you lovely people my idea, I shall rush through this. I shall rush through the washi tape bit, because my plan is to use them as pockets and tuck spots and things like that, as opposed to a slide that goes in as a slide. If I was gonna do it as a slide, then I would put two back to back, which again is entirely your choice and something that you can do. So we want to get the holly and the berries in, like that. And do that. I'm actually going to cut this in half first, rather than rip it. Because it's a wide one, but it's the only one I can see at the moment. The rest of them were all put away in the drawer and I forgot to get some out in my trying to plan for this. So on the bottom. Oh, and I'm not doing the sides only because I've no need, because if it's going to be a pocket you just want the top more than anything to not catch. That's that one. And that's that, and that's that. And that, and that. There we go. And there's another. So that's three. So everything's encroaching and getting smaller and smaller. As is always the way when you're crafting. Right, let's get rid of that. Okay. And then, oh, the other thing, I have to take my glasses off for this so I can reach over. But bear with me while I throw a few things out of the way, because then I have all sorts of bits and pieces that I could play with. So we can look at decorating them to do that and that. Got a a green ball, got a little Santa. It's a bit big. Oh dear, there's stickers, stickers, birdie, one colour, too big, too big. I'm probably not going to be able to find anything on the right side now. The crown, the birdie, oh, down. A robin, too big. Oh, but we'll find something. And these are literally all the bits and pieces left over from last year. Just do a bit of branch. Oh, I have got a lot, so bear with me. We'll find some. Little soldier. Oh no, ripped. More stickers and stuff. Okay, let's have a look. See what we've got. More birds. More birds. More no. Birdie. Stickers. No. Crowns. A bit big. Although you could put there, couldn't it? But no. Little gold bits. Oh, poinsettias, they're a good idea. So maybe we could poinsettias out. What else? Yeah. Quite like that. Okay, so what about something like that? Something like that. Maybe, nope. Nope. Too big. Christmas tree. Few Christmas trees. Oh, no Christmas tree. Could maybe have half a Christmas tree, couldn't you? Maybe on that one. I might do that. Kind of like that. Little Santa. Candy cane. I wonder. Maybe not. No, too big. But big poinsettia, way too big. This is the problem when you make small projects. Because I don't often make small projects, so I tend to keep big things. Little angels, cherubs. Oh, that's quite pretty. Colours go quite nicely. So maybe that. Right. Leave it there. What we think about it? Maybe not. Birdies, poinsettia. Same one but smaller. Person on a sledge. Told you, I have a lot. I kept all the bits and pieces. Okay. A putty cat. No. Little. I don't mind that actually. I might come back to that. Nope. Little Santa. Maybe a little. No. My God. These. Just to digress slightly. This was from. Looks like that. A sheet of 12 by 12 paper. And I sat one day and I fussy cut out every single bit of them. Just to keep me occupied for a while. Right, let's try and do this without spilling stuff everywhere. Birdie, Santa, Santa, bits of Santa, half of Santa, quarter of Santa, poinsettias, more of them. No. This is the problem, I'm not going to have anything small enough now, am I? What do I think? No. Okay. I must have smaller. Maybe if we go towards the bottom of the pile. Bear with me, people. Bear with me. Somewhere in all of this, I must have ickle stuff. But, all sorts, all sorts. Maybe that actually. Right. Let's have a. I might go around the edge of this and see what this looks like. Because this might work quite well with the Christmas tree. Let's try that and try that. And, oh. So what's everybody else been up to? Well, I've been away ailing. Are you all well? Are you all good? You all been having fun? Are you all ready for Christmas? Inquiring minds want to know. Like I said, I'm present-wise all set. And just to show off a bit, I've almost wrapped them up as well. I don't have much left to do. Admittedly, I don't have much to buy or many to buy for. But what I have is done and ready to go. Maybe that. I kind of like that. I might just go in there a bit so it matches a bit better. There we go. So a bit of holly for that one. And let's have a quick. I'll just have a right quick whiz. Oh, little soldier. I've got a little soldier. But it's pink. I don't like pink. Is there? Yeah, there seems to have been a lot. I have noticed. I've been looking and watching and seeing what people are up to. There just seems to have been a lot of pink around this Christmas. A lot of pink. And I don't have anything to say about that. It doesn't seem right. Oh, and a bit of holly, we might try that. Okay, enough. I've made you look through scraps of paper long enough. Let's move those back out of the way. Excuse me reaching over. Oops. Put them back where they belong. And those, and those. There we go. All out of the way. And let's see what we've got. Let's see what we can do. Oh, I'm just going to grab that one because it might actually have a Happy Christmas on it. No, and it doesn't. I've used it. I did have another one of those though. I'm looking for a particular. Ooh. I'm not going to be able to find it now, on it, because Celery, this is the way. This is the way. Luke, I am your father. Okay, so let's just go ahead and stick a few things on and see how we go. So I'm going to stick this one here because I like it. Oh, now which side? Which side looks better? That side looks better. Okay, so stick this on. Get the most baubles and fruit on it that we can. And then I'm going to stick my poinsettias on. And I might just be gluing off camera, but you know, I'm sure you all know how to use a glue stick. And then I've got that there. So it covers a little bit of my window. I'm going to try and get that glue off. There we go. Just trim that side off on there. And I'm going to trim that side off there. And there we have one photo slide. Let's have a look at this one, see what we do with this one, because I haven't made my mind up entirely. So that's that one. Oop. And then we could do this. Nope, 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 and nope, and nope. And a bit. Could do this. And what else have I got? See now. Maybe. Bear with me. I'm gonna do a fast bit of cutting on screen. Ooh. Which is not my best work, but hey. Okay. Let's do. See, this is what I'm going to get all pedantic about. About my fussy cutting. There we go. That's that. Okay. So, oh yeah, we'll do that. So I'm going to put this on there. Oh, bit stuck everywhere. I'm putting half of this on, so I'm just going to hang that over a bit so it goes on my screen. And my little Robin. He can kind of join up and sit there. And then trim off the back. And like I said, all these bits and pieces are, well, fussy cut out of a book. The rubbing on this one's off a piece of wrapping paper. Again, I sat and fussy cut, or cut out squares of about 100 of that one. It's out of a book. It's out of a book. Stamped. This bit's left over from last year. That's out of a book. This is a fussy cut left over from last year, and I think I am just literally gonna put those little madams on there, and then what about? Go down a bit. Don't need all of that. Don't need all the way. There we go. There we go. Oop. I'm gonna trim off the back. There we go. And now we have 3 very quick photo slides. I hope you can see those. Oh, let's have a look. You can. Yeah. What do we think? Answers on a postcard, somebody tell me. And then, let me get the other ones back out and show you if I can find them, which at the moment I can't. Where did I put them? Oh, they're there. So, when you think, that's literally playing as quickly as I can so I can show you and keep the video reasonably short, but obviously if you're doing these at home you have more time, and so these are the sort of things you can do. Again, bit of green cardboard. The back of it is actually a napkin decoupled onto cardboard, some tartan napkin, fussy cut, something on the acetate, and that was a big circle I had punched out from last year. We've got a bit of wallpaper at the back, so this is wallpaper. This bit's from a paper chase book, another little transfer. This is from a graphic 45 pad. This bit of William Morris that I liked. Label. Same again, fussy cuts, labels. William Morris paper and wallpaper. William Morris paper and wallpaper. And this was one actually I stamped with non-Christmassy things, and that works too. And then all I did was I drew the shape, the stencil on coffee dyed paper and went round it with a Sharpie. I'll show you. I have some. That. And then cut it out. And then stamped. So that's your other option as well. But that gave it that nice green border that you get around Kodak. They have that nice red border around them usually. So that's that. Again, that one. This one. This one. This one. This one. And then today's quickies. This one. This one. And this one. And they're using Dash Dave digitals. And it's a good way of using up bits of digitals that are left lying around. You know, they don't even necessarily have to be Christmassy. Like this one. I think that looks quite Christmassy now, but it's not a Christmassy one. It's from his medieval set. So, what else do I have? Oh, this is what I was going to show you. So you can mass make if you want to. I'll show you. It's all pattern paper, cut out ready to go. So William Morris, William Morris, William Morris, Florentine, Florentine, decoupage napkin. I don't know where that's from. Decoupage napkin. Big as eyes. These are all William Morris, William Morris, William Morris, William Morris. You see in the picture William Morris, William Morris. Certain design I like. Quite a lot. And then these are scrapbook paper. Scrapbook paper, scrapbook paper, scrapbook paper. This is wrapping paper that's just been glued to a piece of cardboard. Some of Dave's digitals. Scrapbook paper, scrapbook paper, scrapbook paper. These are napkins decoupaged onto cardboard, scrapbook paper, decoupage napkin, decoupage napkin, wrapping paper, digitals. Yeah, endless fun. So I'm not saying I'm making this many because there's a lot there, but endless fun. As you can see. So there you go. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you enjoyed. And that's it from me. I will be back. And this time I will be back because this video's already made and uploaded and ready to be released. So I know I'll be back. So that's all I can say on the subject. And I'll talk to you soon. It's been a pleasure. Let me know what people think. I'm hopefully going to have something every day for you for the next 10 days up until Christmas. Definitely 8 because they're all done and uploaded and ready to go. Possibly 10 if I get the last 2 finished, which I'm hoping I will. And I will talk to you all soon. Look after yourselves and I'll see you all soon. Bye.